All right, time again. Are we live? I think we are. Hello all and welcome back to the Women's Football Chat Live. We are back with yet more Women's Asian Cup action as we're into the quarterfinal stage now as South Korea take on Uzbekistan. A really interesting game today. South Korea topping Group A against the odds, getting the better of, well, drawing with Australia but having a better goal difference. Saw them go through as group leaders. They'll face Uzbekistan, who a 4-0 victory against Bangladesh in their final group game saw them climb up to third and saw them get through as a third place team. Bit of surprise to see Uzbekistan at this stage of the competition. They didn't play particularly well in their first two group matches, but a bit of a surprise to see them stepping up massively against Bangladesh, and now they're into this stage of the competition. How do you rate their chances for today?
I think it's going to be very difficult for them today. As you say, it hasn't been a great tournament, but they're here into the knockouts, and that's what matters. And to them, that's an amazing achievement, and massive credit for the job they did in Bangladesh, going through on goal difference as a third place side. It's not a pretty way to do it, but beating Bangladesh 4-0 was a massive result, and that was enough. It didn't matter what they did in the other two games, but again, this is a massive step up. We thought that Bangladesh would have given them a better battle, but South Korea are on a different level to Uzbekistan. It's going to be very, very difficult for them to try and get a result today, but it's knockout football. We always say anything can happen in knockout football. Uzbekistan, they can hold on, take it to extra time, take it to penalties, maybe nick a goal, and suddenly they're through into the semi-finals. So yes, it's an uphill task for them today, but I think that they've shown they can score goals. So they've got to look to hurt South Korea on the break and give it their best shot, really.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's been a bit of a theme of Uzbekistan's progression to this tournament and then throughout this tournament of just about getting it over the line. They came through the qualifiers. That last group game was a penalty shootout win. That got them then. That was over Nepal, I believe. Got them to the Asian Cup this year. And yeah, their first two group games weren't great, but they put 4 past Bangladesh, which completely repaired their goal difference, really. And got them through to this stage. As you say, though, it's going to be difficult. South Korea have been incredibly impressive at this tournament so far. 2 comfortable victories against Iran and the Philippines. Their performance against Australia was really strong. I think they're quite unlucky not to win that game, but ultimately it didn't matter. They go through top of the group anyway. And rather than having to play North Korea like Australia did, and that was quite a difficult game, they've got here quite a nice quarterfinal tie.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's why you always want to top the group. You set yourselves up, the nicest in the quarterfinals. I thought that they looked really commanding again in the first 2 group games. In the Australia game, as you say, they probably should have come over the victory there. They'll be frustrated, and that is something they've got to look at. Conceding both those goals deep in additional time in both the first and the second halves, and the fact that I thought the box defending was a bit poor for those goals that they did concede to Australia. So that's something they've got to look out for today, is that they've got to defend their own penalty area a lot better than they did against the Matildas. But overall, South Korea have looked really good going forwards. They've scored 9 goals already this tournament now. It's looking really strong for them, and Uzbekistan are going to find it difficult to keep that front line quiet.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, South Korea have been really, really impressive. They would be the favourites, it has to be said, to get through to the semi-finals. Of course, the winner of this game will meet either Japan or the Philippines in the semi-finals. The loser goes to, I believe, the other side of the draw in that playoff game. So it's going to be very interesting. Obviously, the main goal, I think, for Uzbekistan is, can they get to the World Cup?
Yeah.
And so whether they win or lose today, yes, it'll be slightly more difficult if they lose. But actually, I think the key goal for them is to get to the World Cup. If they can win today and do it that way, fantastic for Uzbekistan. But even if they lose today, it's still all up for grabs if they can get into the interconfederational playoffs.
Yeah, exactly that. I think that, again, we've spoken about it a few times with this tournament, but I love the fact you've got the ambitions there in 2 different versions. You've got sides that, of course, want to go on and win the tournament, but there's also an incentive for teams that probably aren't going to win it, like Uzbekistan. But as you say, that opportunity to try and make the World Cup in 2027 is a massive chance for them, and getting into the quarterfinals is a big step of that. So, as you say, of course they'd love to get through. They'd love to be in the semi-finals, and they'd love to confirm their place already. But even if they do lose, it's not the end of the world for Uzbekistan. They'll go again. They'll still be in those qualifiers, and they'll back themselves to try and get to that World Cup.
Absolutely. Well, let's take a look at the teams for today's game. We are in the Stadium Australia in Sydney, which I believe is a renamed stadium for the purpose of this competition. Let's start with the South Korea side then. A 4-4-2 today for Korea Republic. In goal, it's Ryu Ji-soo. A back four then of Kim Hae-ri, No Jin-young, Ko Yoo-jin, and Jang Sel-gi. Across the midfield, four, Cho Yu-ri on one wing, the other Park So-jung, and a midfield pair of Kim Shin-ji and Ji So-young. And then a front line, of course, Jeon Yu-jeong, who was really good in that last game against Australia, alongside her Moon Eun-ju. So a lot to look out for in this South Korea side. Of course, we're going to be looking at Ji So-young. But who else do you think really impressed against Australia and will be decisive for South Korea going forwards in this tournament?
Yeah, I think across the board they played well, but as you say, Jeong had a really, really good game and a well-taken goal. I thought that Park Seo-jong, again, looked really, really strong in that first half, and I think that overall they've got that attacking quality. I mentioned the goals they've scored, but that front line with G supporting from midfield, it's a lovely combination. I thought that the midfield too did really well to just get on the ball, and they actually had more of the ball than Australia did, which is something that we haven't seen many teams do at this tournament. But yeah, they played really well, South Korea, throughout the group stage. They've got a lot of attacking quality. I thought defensively they were fine until they were tested against Australia, and then we did see them falter a little bit. So that will be the big test for me, is that if Uzbekistan do come forward today, how is that defence gonna handle that? But yeah, apart from that, they've looked really strong, and again, it's another really good starting 11.
Yeah, as you say, quite open defensively, but we expect Uzbekistan to sit in a 5-back today, so they're going to be very defensive. I think for South Korea, obviously, Shin Sang-woo, coming into this tournament, the manager spoke a lot about how they were finalists in the last edition. They have a real motivation now to come to this tournament and up that standard, to come to this tournament and actually go and win it. Now, I think their group stage performances absolutely put them in that conversation. This will be another big test of them, though. They can get over the line against Uzbekistan, then, I think that definitely gives them a great opportunity. The semi-finals will be a huge test. Japan or the Philippines. I mean, if Philippines pull off an upset, I think South Korea have the nicest run to the final possible. But I think obviously this is still going to be a difficult game to get through Uzbekistan. We've seen how some sides have struggled to play against low blocks at this competition. We expect Uzbekistan to be incredibly defensive today. But if they can get through this, go and get that matchup against either Japan or Philippines in the semi-finals, it puts them in a great position. It qualifies them as well, crucially, for the next World Cup. So, yeah, they've played really well and put themselves now in a position where they can build on being finalists in the 2022 edition. Let's take a look then at the team for Uzbekistan. On paper, according to the AFC, it's going to be a 5-4-1 today. In goal, hero of the qualifiers, Yonim Kalova. Really important penalty saves in that game against Nepal. In the back five, Kuchkarova at right wing back, Oran Yazova, apologies, at right centre half, Zarepova and Dadebova, the other centre halves, at left wing back, Asadova. Across the four then, back to Yarova, Kusni Dinova. It is then Mamat Karimova and Zoyarova, the big outlet really for them on that left wing. And leading the line, it's going to be Nozimova. So a lot to look out for in this Uzbekistan side. We're expecting them to be very defensive, very deep in this game. I guess for them, as we say a lot with underdogs, it's about hitting those targets. Can they go 5, 10, 15 minutes without conceding? Can they keep in this game for as long as possible?
Yeah, they've got to get the basics right, first of all, as you say. First 5-10 minutes is going to be very quiet. They're going to sit very deep and just make sure they do not concede. It is paramount for them, and then it will just be about getting through the games. 20 minutes, 30 minutes. Then you're looking to get into half-time. Can you still keep the game level? If they do concede, how do they react? They've got to make sure they stay in the game. We've seen it. So we've seen both versions of this tournament. Some teams have crumbled after conceding. Some teams, like the Philippines in match week 1 against Australia, they dug in and only lost the game 1-0. So for Uzbekistan, they've got to keep themselves in the game at all times, because they've got players that can, provide for them in attacking areas. They can hit South Korea against the run of play, hit them on the counter attack, and maybe nick a goal. It throws the game wide open. So they've got to keep themselves in the game no matter what happens. And I think that for Uzbekistan, as you say, they're going to be very, very defensive. But it's about when they can they try and take the opportunity to get forward when they come? Can they look to hurt South Korea and catch them heart of the pitch? Who knows? But yeah, it's going to be a game that they need to just break down into different segments.
Well, we saw yesterday a great example of how to win a game while only having 4 shots,
Yes.
2 on
Yeah.
target. So if they can replicate that Australia performance, maybe they'll be all right. Welcome everyone to the live stream. Jeremy, Matt Black, and Lucas. Matt Black saying good morning from Chicago. Good morning. Welcome to the stream. As Jeremy echoing the same sort of sentiments we were saying. I think Uzbekistan are in a no-lose situation. Their real cup final will be the playoff. Absolutely. And Lucas saying final will be Japan versus Australia. Absolutely could be. Also, we've got that first semi-final matchup confirmed now. Australia taking on China. That will be on Tuesday, so make sure to join us for that game. The winner of this will face either Japan or Philippines on Wednesday. So looking forward to both of those matchups. But that only leaves one thing as both players are out onto the field doing the national anthems. Let's dive into our scoreline predictions ahead of this one. If you're watching along to the show and want to get involved, let us know your scoreline predictions in the live chat. But we, as always, are going to get things kicked off here in the studio. And Harry, you can get us started. What is your prediction as South Korea take on Uzbekistan?
I'm going to say South Korea to take the win. I think Uzbekistan will put up a valiant effort, but I just think South Korea have got enough quality to get through this game and to reach the semi-finals. I will say South Korea 1, Uzbekistan 0, and I think it will be a goal late on from Jeong to continue what's been a good tournament for her. But I think it's going to be one of those where Uzbekistan hang in there for a while, but last 10-15 minutes they just start to tire, and South Korea will eventually find that goal they've been looking for. But yeah, I think they'll put up a really good fight, Uzbekistan. But South Korea, the quality they've just got too much quality, really.
Yeah, I think that's probably the case. I'm going to say South Korea 3, Uzbekistan 0. I think if we look back at their group stage matches, yes, that performance against Bangladesh was really impressive. But when they played those sides of higher quality, they did come undone a little bit. And I think today, if South Korea score early, the floodgates open a little bit for me.
Yeah.
And I think that South Korea attack is really strong. We saw that against Australia. That front line of Moon Eun-ju and Jeon, really nice partnership there. And if those two can keep that up today, I think that's going to be a real difficult thing for Uzbekistan to deal with. So, yeah, I mean, as we've said multiple times, really, the most important thing for them is the playoffs, but also the fact that just getting here is a huge achievement. They're a side who don't get to the Asian Cup much, and, you know, they came through a really difficult qualifying process, had to get through on penalties in that last game. And yeah, I think they'll be incredibly proud of the fact they're even here. But obviously, these two sides with very different aspirations. South Korea here because they want to win the tournament. Uzbekistan are very much happy to be here, but also have aspirations of making it to the World Cup. So it's going to be a really interesting matchup. But I do think the favour is massively with South Korea. I'm going to go 3 now. I'm going to say goals from Moon Eun-ju. I will say Ji So-young, and I'm going to go. I wanted to go for someone a little bit different, but to be fair, I think it's probably just going to be. I'll say Cho Yuri.
Yeah, fair enough. As you say, I think it's one of those where for South Korea the tournament's kind of only just starting, or it started in the last match. For Uzbekistan, that their tournament they've completed their tournament. You know, they've done incredibly well. But I think that the main thing for them is to put on a good performance today. If they give it everything, they play at their very, very best, and they walk off this pitch with a very respectable loss, then they will head home knowing they've got the chance of qualifying for the World Cup and that they gave it their best against a very strong side in South Korea. But if they allow South Korea to run through this game, to score quite a few goals, and it gets a bit embarrassing, that'll be a shame for Uzbekistan. So I think that will be the importance for them, is to to represent their country well and to put on a good performance against a very, very good side in South Korea. But we know the ability that Korea have got to just put teams out of sight and to kill games off quickly. It's important that Uzbekistan make sure that they stay in this game.
I mean, there's every chance as well, as we haven't mentioned too much, but Uzbekistan could pull off an upset today if they are going to do that. I think they've got to be excellent in the counter, really. They've got to try to move that ball quickly through the lines, find Zoidova, find Nozimova, and look to be quite aggressive in those moments. That's going to be the turning point, really. I think a lot of these teams, particularly I remember back watching Iran, it's a 5-4 and then one player very much isolated as the striker. You can't allow that to happen today. You need Zoidova to be able to get forwards when possible, support that attack. Those two can then combine, and that gives you an outlet. That gives you something to work with. If they leave the striker isolated, they're just going to keep losing that ball. We know the Korea Republic centre-halves are really strong. No Jun Young and Ko Yoo-jin. So those two are going to be really physical. with Nozimova. They've got to give her an outlet. They've got to give her someone to play off. That could ultimately make the difference. A few predictions coming in. Jeremy saying 3-1 Korea. Locust going 2-0 Korea. And the poll in chat is 54% South Korea, 46% Uzbekistan. So a lot of people backing the upset today.
Yeah, I rate that's a lot closer than I thought it was going to be. But exactly what you're saying about they've got to get forwards, because even if they don't score, attack is best form of defence. If the ball is up in the Korea half, that means Uzbekistan are under pressure, and they've just got to try and break that cycle. So many teams, they end up conceding because the pressure is just constant. If Uzbekistan can just every now and again just lift the pressure off themselves, it will make the task of not conceding so much easier.
Absolutely, and we're set to get underway here in Sydney. It's Uzbekistan and Nozimova from the middle, waiting to get us underway. Knocks it back, we're underway here in this quarter-final matchup. It's South Korea taking on Uzbekistan in this game. Who will come out on top in this quarter-final, sorry. Obviously a qualifier as well for the World Cup. The winner of this match will qualify automatically. The loser goes into the play-in stage. And that long spectated ball there from Uzbekistan just being collected by the Korea goalkeeper, Ryu Ji-soo. Level to the left-hand side. Here's Ko. Knocks her across to No Jin-young. Wide now. And Kim looking to go a little bit more direct. Here's Cho Yu-ri. Cuts it into the box. Dealt with just about. And Yominkalova able to deal well with that bouncing ball.
Yeah, again, South Korea looking to threaten early doors. It's a lovely ball down the right-hand side. And yeah, the cross wasn't quite what it needed to be.
Absolutely. That long ball there. Cut out well by Ko. Header in the midfield in there from Dadebueva. And that runs out of play. And Jang Selgi across to take the throw in.
Yeah, you expect the Uzbekistan keeper to be called upon quite often in this game. Although with distribution like that, that is going to be a massive help for Uzbekistan to try and just get a little bit further up the pitch.
Cho Yu-ri looking inside her options. Forced back now. Ji So-young. Out towards the left-hand side. Here's Jang Selgi. Back now with Kim Shin-ji. Out towards Kim, who looks to poke it in behind now. And pressure on the ball from Mun. But it's knocked out of play well by the recovering Asadova. And Katrina Kubica knows how important it is that they are disciplined today. Not too much experience at senior international level. Lots of experience with the Lithuanian youth teams. This, though, her first major tournament as a manager. And there's a lot that they can learn from. There's also a lot they've got right in this tournament. The way they managed the Bangladesh game was excellent. South Korea coming forwards now. Ball delivered in towards the front post. That's dealt with well here. And Asadova plays it forwards. And here come Uzbekistan. Needing some support here, Zoirova can't quite keep it on the field of play. But you can see there who they're trying to find every pass to, really. If they are going to play it out, it's going to be into the feet of Zoirova. Kim Shin-ji lifts it over the top. That's a great ball. It's Cho on side here. Good goalkeeping. And that's a big miss in there from Muni and Ju, and there is an offside flag up anyway, as expected, on Cho Yu-ri. But this, a nice move. Great assertive goalkeeping from Yominkalova.
Yeah, it does really well to get out to it, even though she is offside. Very high line for Uzbekistan, and well drilled there. And even though it is offside, that will still be a chance. And as the if you're the player in that situation, it's still going to impact you. The fact that you did miss such such a nice chance. But Uzbekistan, that's exactly what they need to do. That's a very high line. I quite like that they're playing a little bit more aggressively and just trying to catch South Korea offside. And this is a good move.
Trying to come forwards there. Very expected there from Nozimova. I believe there was a change as well to the starting lineup then for South Korea. So it doesn't look like Jeon has started the game. Instead, it is Hwa Yeon-sun who has just started in there. So interesting to see that. I didn't see anything on that head of kickoff, so I'm guessing some sort of knock picked up in the warm-up, but just based on watching the game, it doesn't appear that Jeon is on the field.
Yeah, that's a miss, but as we say, still got plenty of quality in that front line that will look to step up in her absence.
Ko knocks it across into No Jin Young. Stepping up with the ball, just trying to force Uzbekistan backwards here. Looking for the forward pass. Here's G. Wanted to switch the play, but nothing quite coming up together for them. Here's Kim Shin Ji. Now wide. Ko lifting it in behind. Good header away there from Oranianizova, but no one reacting. And now they're trying to drive that ball away. Uzbekistan, Zoyorova carrying it forwards. Stayed in the field of play and immediately given away possession there by Kuchkarova. And Korea back in possession. Kim inside to Ji So-young. Knocks it out towards the left-hand side. Here's Jang. Kim Shin-ji. Ko on the ball. G into Kim. Knocks it wide. Cho Yuri coming inside with possession. Forced backwards. Ko across to Kim Shin-ji. Lifts it in behind. That bounces through. Not quite dealt with by Asidova. And it is indeed Kusnidinova who has got across and knocked it out of play. Korea keeping the pressure on here. Kim through the lines. Lovely turn here from Mun. Needs support now. Knocks it wide. Kim puts it into the box. Bounces through. And that's headed away just about. Now recycled. Jang out towards the right-hand side. Kim will work hard to get there. Keeps it in play well. And the ball floated towards the back post over everyone again, though. Kept alive again at the back post. Park So-jung. Here's Jang. Park again. Knocking it backwards. And No lifting it across. And it's Kim again looking to deliver. Cuts inside this time. Takes aim on her weak foot. Headed over the bar by Asidova, but it's one-way traffic at the moment.
Yeah, relentless pressure from South Korea, and Uzbekistan are just having to shift from side to side to try and keep up with them. Really good football from South Korea, but failing to really get any shots away. This one was a better effort from Kim. Just cuts inside and it's goalwards, but flicked over well.
I guess you could have squared that though. There were players in the box.
Yeah.
Not sure that had to go in the air. But a corner now, and this one does look like it will be delivered in. Oh, it's taken short. Here's Jang. Kim takes aim here from range. Blocked away. Fast reaction from Jang. Big stop there from Yonim Kalova at the front post. Gets a firm hand to it and pushes it out for another corner.
Yeah, again, well worked corner from South Korea. Just shifting it inside and find the near post runner. It wasn't a bad effort. Goalwards beat the defenders sliding in, but yeah, that's a really strong save. Gets down to her right-hand side quickly and does well to put it out for a corner.
Yeah, indeed. It's that initial shot from Kim which just caused confusion. I think it was Orani Yazova who was just able to get in there. And it appears that was either a very quickly taken corner, didn't come to much, or it wasn't indeed given as a corner. But either way, it's South Korea on the ball now. Kim Shin-ji out towards Jang. Park down the line. She'll try and find Park. Good defending from Kuchkarova. It's picked up though by No, who just lifts it out of play. No Jin Young. And so that will now be a throw-in on the far side for Uzbekistan.
Got to use these throw-ins just to try and work the ball up the line, get further up the pitch, although that has not gone to plan. They're throwing it straight back to South Korea.
And here's Cho Yuri lifting it in behind. An opportunity now. Can they take aim? It is in there. A great move from South Korea, and it's the change in the attacking line that scores. A wonderfully taken effort in there by Son, and Korea lead in this game. Uzbekistan were under so much pressure in the early stages. A nice move from South Korea. Cho Yu-ri picking up on the ball and just lifting it in behind. And Son on hand. And it does take a major deflection over Yonim Kalova as Asadova just tries to get back in there. And probably, if she doesn't dive in there, probably saved by the goalkeeper. But alas, it's South Korea 1, Uzbekistan 0.
Yeah, really poor goal for Uzbekistan to concede from their own throw-in. It's a really poor throw-in into the pitch. And it's 2 passes, and South Korea go from the halfway line to suddenly Son being through on goal. And yeah, the deflection, very unlucky for the goalkeeper. But South Korea started fast here and got that early goal. It's exactly what they needed. But Uzbekistan, that's a really poor goal to concede.
Yeah, back now with Ryu. No. Looking forward to it. And South Korea are looking really to put their foot on the neck here. If Uzbekistan another goal would assert their advantage. Ji So-young sending it forward. Asadova with another ad hoc piece of defending, watching that out of play.
Yeah, they're in a bit of trouble now, Uzbekistan. They've got to regroup and just get through the next 5-10 minutes without conceding because, yeah, South Korea all over them.
Indeed. Ji So-young. Pass round the corner. Here's Cho Yu-ri. Ji. Knocking it across. And back to No. Lifting it out to the left-hand side. Park. Here's Jang. Trying to create space now for the cross. And Jang looks like she may have run that out of play. And indeed she has. Uzbekistan with a throw-in to follow.
They're very lucky that they got that throw in. And then that's happened a couple of times now for Uzbekistan where they've just stopped and appealed for something. Because, again, if that doesn't get given, there's 2 players out there who've just stopped. And, you know, they're being caught out massively. But they did get the throw and they get away with it.
Yeah, Jeremy says Uzbekistan need to get organised and dig in or the floodgates will open. Yeah, it's been quite open so far for South Korea. I think they're just finding a lot of space, particularly in wide areas, particularly in those pockets. They're pulling Uzbekistan apart quite efficiently. And it's Ji So-young on the ball now. Kim looks forwards, back across now to Ko Yu-jin. No. G, back to No. Now Ko. Out wide now with Cho Yu-ri. Picked off well. And Zoyorova gets it clear, but only as far as Kim Shin-ji. And still probing now. South Korea. Ji So-young plays it across through the line. Son can't quite find that pass backwards. And Uzbekistan with the ball and Zoyorova just clearing it away. I think the problem is they haven't touched the ball.
No.
They haven't touched the ball. 15% possession because every time they get it, it's just launched immediately back to South Korea.
Yeah.
Here's Jang trying to create space out wide here. Made the run well and drove inside with danger. Here's Park. Can she get the ball into the box? That's blocked out. And another Korea corner.
Yeah, this is going to be a long 90 minutes at this rate for Uzbekistan. I'm really confused as to where everybody is because I'm looking there and there's 9 out or 10 out of their 11 players are in their own penalty area. Yet there is still so much space for South Korea to move around in there. I just don't understand how that's possible. I've never seen a side sit so deep yet concede so much space in their own third. That's not how that works in football.
Yeah, it's South Korea doing very well to pull them quite wide and use the width well. Ball in towards the front post. Zoyorova will get there and carries this ball forwards now for Uzbekistan. Punting it forwards, looking for Nozimova. Picked off without issue though by Park. And now South Korea holding on to possession, just allowing their team to take shape again after that corner. Ball slipped through by Kim. Can Jang get there? Not quite. Did give up on that one fairly early, but I don't think she's ever going to get there.
Yeah, a little bit too much on it. Right idea, though. Lovely ball. Two or three South Korea players just ran towards the ball and dragged Uzbekistan players in, and then the space to just play it in between the lines, but a little bit too heavy.
Indeed. Could be with a lot to think about then. I mean, it's only 1-0 at the moment, but yeah, under so much pressure. And if this is sustained by South Korea, it's just going to be a constant onslaught, really. Cho Yu-ri inside now. Here's Son. Carries it forwards across to Kim. No. Across from this position. Passes inside instead. Mun back to No. Exchanges with Jang. Now into Kim.
Yeah, I just don't know what Uzbekistan do from this point on, because
they come forwards now. Nazimova tries to lift it out to the right hand side. Zoyarova's going to get there and lets it go for a throw in. Wants to take the ground rather than try and attack without numbers.
Yeah, that's a smart decision. You know, just get your team fair on the pitch. But the problem for them at the moment is that they're so open, but they're so deep. Usually, when the weaker side looks so open, it's because they've tried to be a little bit too aggressive and they've been caught out. But I mean, they can't get deeper. But if they go for it, they go even more open than they are now. So yeah, they're stuck in a very difficult position.
Or just as open.
Yeah,
I think you've got to go for the game a little bit. Sometimes attack's the best form of defence. Here is Asadova with this throw in then. First one's headed straight back to her. Well, will the second one fare? Looking down the line as Zoyarova has Nazimova further down the line and does find the feet of the forward. And one back in there by Cho Yu-ri. Carry it up the line. Picked off in midfield here by Adadabeva. He tries to lift it in behind, and South Korea playing it in their corner. And that's really good stuff from Kim Hae-ri. Pass inside now from Cho. And Ji So-young is breaking away quickly here. Space to the left-hand side. Carrying it in this diagonal fashion across to Jang, who's overlapping. Can she find a teammate? Lifted towards the back post. Mun just heading wide. Lovely move from South Korea. Not quite able to find the finishing touch.
Yeah, brilliant football. Deserved a goal at the end of it. Starting with their own fullback in line with their penalty area and just playing through the whole Uzbekistan team. And the cross at the end of it wasn't a bad ball in, but the header just wide. What a move from South Korea, but so easy. It's so easy for them at the moment.
Yeah. Mun's, I think, got a header cross goal. She's obviously trying to just head it directly forwards, and I don't think she quite realised how far away from the goal she actually was. But you've got to head a cross goal there, because even if you don't quite meet the target, or even if you hit it straight at the goalkeeper, it's probably going to get parried out, or end up in a position where your other forward in there, Son, may be able to get something on it, but tries to head towards the near post, not quite able to hit the target. Kim knocks it wide. Cho Yu-ri inside now, and that smart movement, drawing the foul there from the fullback, Kim. And yeah, really strong performance so far from South Korea, and Kim running the show really from right back.
Yeah, again, really good. And this is exactly what they've got to do now: win those free kicks. Just keep making things difficult for Uzbekistan.
Yeah, Harker, welcome to the stream. Says love from Nepal. Love it. Thank you for joining us from Nepal. Says South Korea will win 3-0. Yeah, I think that's a fairly safe prediction at this stage. That's what I went for at the top of the show. And yeah, I am confident that it may go that way. It could even be more. The way that South Korea have started this game with the intention that they have. Ball in from Kim towards the back post. That's slightly askew, and it's a foot race here that is seen out of play. Really smart defending from Kuchkarova, and a throw-in now for Uzbekistan.
Yeah, they've got to start using these throw-ins, because they've had a few now where they've just thrown them straight back to South Korea, and as I say that, they've done exactly the same thing once again.
The problem is that everything's a higher-ish throw.
Yeah.
They haven't won an aerial duel yet. 100% of aerial duels have gone to South Korea so far. So, but ground duels, they have had a little bit more success. 30% there. Surely you just throw a little lower and give your players a bit of a chance, because this South Korea side are much stronger in the air. Ball wide into Cho Yu-ri. Lifts it in towards the front post. Tidy stop. That's a good stop from Yonim Kalova. He just seems to stop the ball dead on the goal line. And it is one of the defenders there, just hooks it away. That really should have been 2-0 South Korea. Not sure how Yonim Kalova has prevented that one. Ball in from Jang. Headed away well, and then nodded clear by Kuchkarova. And then it is back to Karova, who does enough there just to get it away. Ball out wide now. Cho Yu-ri. Back to Kim. Kim looks inside. Here's G. Plays it forwards. Not back now to Kim. And wide again to Cho. Up against Zayarova. Puts it in there. Chance the back post. Headed away well. And now looking to keep it alive. That's great footwork from Jang. Cuts it back to G. And it's just straight at her. Falls to the edge of the box now. And a shot from range. And that's glorious. Glorious from the centre half. Ko Yu-jin steps up and strikes it from the edge of the box. That's a lovely finish from the centre half. It's a tournament where defenders have been in red hot form in front of goal. Alana Kennedy with 5, and that's Japan. That's South Korea's number 5 there with a phenomenal effort. And this from the edge of the box, a peach of a strike. No one gets out to her quick enough. And just curling it into the top corner. VAR is going to have a look. But it's South Korea 2. Uzbekistan now.
Yeah, brilliant strike. Just afforded so much time and space. And, I mean, Uzbekistan, it's like playground football. The ball comes out to her and there's just 5 players just rush her. But, they're just chasing the whole game. And everyone's chasing the same person. They're all just running after the ball. It's an absolute mess. And South Korea are taking full advantage. A really, really nice move, and yeah, a brilliant strike.
But that's the thing, you know, everyone chases after it. No one goes down quick enough, though.
Yeah.
It's all just too late, and they're too reactive. And the goal is still being checked here. Is it going to be given or not?
It must be something in the build-up. You know, so there's nothing wrong with the strike. I didn't see anything wrong, though, when we watched it through.
And Ko Yu-jin here looking stressed. She wants her goal.
Yeah. Especially when you score a goal like that.
Oh, yeah. What a goal indeed.
Yeah, it's a difficult one. This isn't a quarterfinal at the moment.
Surprised how long it's taking to check this, and their decision in the end is a goal. We'll get back underway in this game. So, not sure what they're having a look at there or why it took so long, but we do get to the right decision, I feel, at the end of it. Coming forwards now. South Korea ball around the corner. Just slightly overhit there from Moon. Chicha says, feels like Japan versus South Korea and Philippines versus Uzbekistan after tomorrow's game. Yeah, I think that's probably the way it will go. I mean, I think the Philippines did incredibly well against Australia in their group game. But they may be able to fend off Japan for a bit, but are they going to be able to stop them from winning? Are they actually going to be able to score a goal of their own? Probably not. So I think it's quite difficult for them to get through there. But I think the Philippines-Uzbekistan will be a great matchup. Obviously, the winner with an opportunity to get through to the World Cup interconfederational qualifiers. Korea back in possession. 22 minutes played here. It's felt significantly longer with how many chances South Korea have had early on. Kim. Ko. Here's No. Plays it forward. Nice work on this left-hand side. Park finds Jang, who now looks the ball across the box. Cho Yu-ri gets there. Yonim Kalova with a good save with the feet. Jang lifting it into the box. Headed away. Falls now for Ji So-young. Good block away from Asadova. Cho Yu-ri in towards the box. Header now. Hits the crossbar from Son. Falls back for Son. And that's a great stop from Yonim Kalova, who's being peppered at the moment.
This is getting a little bit ridiculous for South Korea. They are just hammering strike after strike after strike towards this Uzbekistan net. This cannot go on for 90 minutes. It's going to be a bloodbath. Really good goalkeeping on 2 or 3 occasions there. One off the bar, a big block in there. It's an absolute mess in their own penalty area for Uzbekistan. And South Korea are just trying to find a way to put the ball in the back of the net. But yeah, it's just carnage. It's absolute carnage. South Korea wondering how they haven't scored a third.
Yeah, I mean, it's been one-way traffic. Young Kalova's down now, and you wonder. I mean, she may be in a bit of discomfort after having to make so many saves, and there is some actual treatment being applied here. But you do wonder if part of that is just to relieve the pressure of just constantly facing shots.
Yeah.
But yeah,
but then
just being one-way traffic.
Yeah, but then we've seen this at this tournament, but with quite a few teams, and the problem by doing this is it's just going to add more minutes on at the end, which is it's just going to kill them, at the end of the half.
As I say, maybe a genuine injury. I mean, it does seem to be getting some deep heat to her back, to her lower back there. And to be fair, she has been diving all across that goal. So there's every chance she has caused herself a little bit of injury. But yeah, it has just been absolutely dominant so far from South Korea. 9 shots, 6 on target. Only a shot in response from Uzbekistan. Nice routine from the corner. Kim lifts it in. Son heads it in the wrong direction. Kept alive now by Ko, who scored a wonderful goal a few minutes ago. No. Lifts it in there. Still recycled. Ji So-young gets it wide. Kim's got space to work with here. A jump from Babedova. Lifted in by Kim. Header towards the goal. Just wide. An inventive piece of attacking play there from the centre half. No, but unable to find the target.
Yeah, again, South Korea just moving it with ease. Another good ball in, and the header was a lovely bit of inventive football there with the diving header, but not quite finding the goal.
Indeed. Trevor says VAR has been slow and often unnecessary in this tournament. Yeah, I don't really know what VAR's done yet. I feel like it was a penalty in one of the games we've watched on stream, but I can't remember.
There's a goal disallowed in the Australia-Philippines game.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think there's been some phantom checks, which just feel like we have no idea what they're looking for in a perfectly good goal.
Yeah. It takes 2 minutes.
Yeah.
But yeah, absolutely. Matt says brilliant technique of shot. I'm guessing that's going back to that strike, that wonderful strike from Ko. Yeah, that was a beauty to watch. Just curling it towards that top corner. Son round the corner. Good batter in there. Not quite able to hold the ball up though. Here's Cho. And a pass inside now with G. Ko knocks it wide. Cho holding the width. Back to Ko. Kim. Out to Kim, looking to play it in behind. Nice run off the shoulder. Good defending from Asadova, who gets back in there.
Yeah, they're trying Uzbekistan to just weather the storm, but yeah, at the moment it's very difficult to hold back this South Korea side, who, I mean, it just shows the importance of topping the group. Australia, had a very, very difficult time of it yesterday and somehow managed to get through.
But see, like they're coming forwards now. Here's Zoirova. Needs some support. Tries to take on Kim. Kim wins it back. And then Zoirova responds by bringing her down. But I was about to say, they've not even been close enough to them to make tackles and make fouls.
No.
And just disrupt the flow. They've been nowhere near them. Kim, because you normally look at this kind of game and go, just disrupt them a bit. Go and put in not a deliberate round, but a bit of a hefty challenge. Go and rough them up a little bit. Make them know you're in the game early. But it's just been quite passive from Uzbekistan. They're passengers in this defeat.
Yeah. I mean, they haven't even been on the ball enough to kick it out. They can't put the ball out for corners and throws because they can't get near it.
Ball in now from Kim towards the back post. Headed away. Jang with a wild attempt. G now lifts it on target. And Yonim Kalova are able to get up and claim that in her grasp. Jang there laughing, smiling at that wild attempt she had at goal. But she's been so involved in their attack today. Park Seo-jung, the left wing, has just been tucking in quite a lot. And we've seen Jang overlapping constantly down that left-hand side. Involved in so much the attacking play. Kim overlapping constantly down the right-hand side. It's just been overloaded in those wide areas. Uzbekistan have been stretched. And Uzbekistan feeling the effects now. Asadova, a player who has been heavily involved in the defensive play, does seem to have a knock here.
Yeah, the theme of this tournament is still remaining. What I know.
Why go down if you're an outfield player? Because she's going to be off for a few moments, and Uzbekistan going to be down to 10.
True, but I just think they're trying any means possible. I don't know. Maybe she has got an issue, but yeah, this is. I mean, I don't think South Korea would have expected to have their easiest game of the tournament in the quarterfinals.
No, but to be fair, they did have a relatively difficult group. We always knew Iran were going to play quite defensively. True. We always knew Philippines were going to be very defensive. Uzbekistan stunned a lot of people by coming through, but obviously they had the advantage of the fact that that group had both themselves and Bangladesh. Two sides who are relatively similar in quality, I would say, and ultimately that 4-0 win made the big difference. If not, we would have seen would have seen Vietnam go through. But because Japan smashed everybody in a way that North Korea and China just didn't, it was Vietnam who suffered because of that. So, Korea on the ball. Huge points, by the way, I haven't mentioned it too much, but Chinese Taipei holding China for 90 minutes, getting that game to extra time. Kim round the corner well. Son lifting up to the left-hand side. And now Jiang. Here's Ko. Kim lifting it over the top. And Cho Yuri unable to get there. Shamaders, welcome to the stream. He says, I saw your Bangladesh China stream did well. How have you found the tournament so far? It's been really, really enjoyable. I think it's been fascinating to see some of the different play styles. It's been fascinating to see, I guess, football where you have absolutely zero stakes. It's an incredibly rare phenomenon. Now, if you think of a World Cup or a European Championship or literally any competition we stream, there's someone I want to win or someone I don't want to win. Even, if Chelsea weren't in the Champions League, there's going to be teams that I want to win or teams I don't want to win. But purely neutral in this competition. And yeah, it's been thoroughly enjoyable. I think some games have been difficult. I think there's still a big quality gap between the top sort of 5 teams. And there's a nice bracket now emerging of teams like Vietnam. I'd throw Philippines in there. Chinese Taipei, perhaps, that is emerging. But then there are some teams that have just set up in 5-4-1 and gone really defensive because they don't have the quality compared to some of those top nations. But as we've seen, the matchups between the top teams have been incredible so far. Chance now for South Korea. Yonim Kalova gets out to that one again. Well, good save at the near post.
Yeah, again, called into action and steps up to the mark. But lovely football from South Korea. It's just a dink into the penalty area, and it was Yi with the strike with the final effort. Caught it nicely. Another good save. But South Korea looking to put themselves out of sight, really.
Indeed. Taken short this corner. G, Kim, Jiang. So much time and space. And just firing there towards Scar. And did Yonim Kalova get any touch on that? I'm not sure. I think she may have.
Yeah. I mean, again, it's good goalkeeping, but this is unbelievably easy. It's the basics of football. No one has picked up the corner taker as she's ran back in to get involved, and there's not a Uzbekistan player near her for 10 yards. I mean, it's the basics. Uzbekistan are just getting all wrong at the moment.
Zareb, I think it was it Zarapova that was there, or Kuchkarova, and just didn't get out to her.
Yeah.
Saw it and jumped up initially, and they just didn't follow through. G, Kim, here's G. Wonderful ball in, and it's headed towards goal. Yonim Kalova does well again. Kim, back to G. Another good ball. Yonim Kalova punching away, getting distance like this time. Zoyarova knocks it past the centre half. And that, could have been a yellow card not given, though, to Ko, but it's a free kick here for Uzbekistan.
I just want to take this picture. I mean, it's a great save, again, from the Uzbekistan goalkeeper. I just want to take this picture as the ball comes in. And you should just ask everyone, which team do you think wins this header? Because South Korea had 4 players in the penalty area, and Uzbekistan had 9, and they still didn't win the header.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a difficult one.
Big worry here for Uzbekistan is Yonim Kilova's back, because she's been carrying them on that back this game, and it seems to be having a bit of an issue.
If she comes off injured, then they are in. It's going to be a very, very difficult. What? Still got, trying to do maths here, 56 minutes.
Plus additional time, which you would imagine will be plentiful if the Uzbekistan try and slow this game down anymore. Ball lifted in behind Jang. That's a heavy touch. And that will run through to Yonim Kilova. They're showing us last which teams at World Cup qualification from this tournament. The 4 semi-finalists qualify automatically for the 2027 Women's World Cup. And then the 2 teams, so all the 4 losers in the quarterfinals go into the play-in matches, and the 2 winners of those games will get into the interconfederational qualifiers, where they'll play teams across the world for a chance to feature at the World Cup. Sun trying there to find Cho. Wide now with Kim. Lifts it into the box. Headed away. And now it's Zoyarova who tries to carry it forwards. Nozimova pass inside. Kim gets a touch on it. And that thwarts the Uzbekistan counter.
I have to say, despite the dominance of South Korea, the fact that we've played 35 minutes and it is only 2-0 is a little bit of a surprise, really. They look like they're going to kick on and score quite a few more.
Yeah. Ball delivered in, headed away by Zorapova. And a pass inside now, fed through the lines poorly as it's picked off in midfield. Ball lifted in behind. An opportunity now as it's smashed clear by Kucherova. Now, showing us as one of the playing games sometime this week. Can have a look. But yeah, we've also got the semi-finals on Tuesday and Wednesday this week. And then we have those playing games as well at some point over this week too. But I can't remember if they were before or after. So, corner now for South Korea. Ball in towards the front post. Cho Yuri can't quite make anything happen there as it's hooked away. And we collect now by Kim. Jang forced backwards. No. Kim Shinji finds Ko Yoo-jin. Now looking to lift it in behind. Nice movement there from Son. It tries to put the ball across the box and it's blocked by Asidova and out now for a South Korea corner.
Yeah, another corner. I think they'd like to have used these set pieces a bit more because they've had some really nice routines and they've managed to, earn themselves a lot of space out in the wide areas when they've taken it short and just moved it around between themselves, but they haven't actually managed to turn one home yet.
Do you wonder as well if Uzbekistan looking to make subs there? Katerina Kulbita was beckoning over at someone, and either she's asking Shin Sang-Woo out for a fight, or she's bringing on a substitute. Ball in, punched away by Yonim Kilova. Here's Kim, lifting it forwards, and that's headed away by Kuchkarova. And now Uzbekistan coming forwards. Trying to dart inside, cleared away, and with some distance there by Orani Yazova.
I think it might be the first touch of the game for the South Korea goalkeeper.
Yeah.
Probably she's had a very quiet.
Hasn't had a lot to do.
Game so far.
16 shots to 1. 9 on target to none thus far. And it's South Korea coming forwards again. Pedro also asking how many corners have there been? 7 so far. All for South Korea.
It's just dominant. Absolutely dominant. But it's because Uzbekistan haven't had a kick. You can't do anything in football when you don't have the actual ball.
14% possession, yeah.
Wow.
Not a lot you can do with that. Ball running through there from South Korea. I'm Kilova now with a goal kick.
There's defensive, and then there's just
Well, it's negative, isn't it? I think it's the way to describe it. If you look at how the Philippines played, particularly even with missing Serena Bolden, they didn't really have an outlet, but they tried to get the ball forwards when they had opportunities. So this is very negative football, where even when they're picking up the ball, it's just clear it back to the opposition.
Yeah.
And I don't know what success there is to have with negative. I mean, maybe you get a 0-0 draw, but they've been under so much sustained pressure.
Yeah.
You just got to relieve that. You've got to carry the ball forward. You've got to slow the game down, but they're not. It's just get the ball, clear it back to South Korea, and it just puts on another wave of pressure. So they're just constantly absorbing these attacks from South Korea because they just keep giving the ball back.
Yeah, and that's the thing, you can playing like that's fine for, say the first 5-10 minutes because you're just trying to make sure you don't concede. But I mean, you've then got to change after that, but also B, they still conceded playing that way. So if you still concede when you play that kind of football, then you don't stand a chance of keeping South Korea out.
Yeah, gang.
Yeah, 5 minutes till half time. They'll try and get into half time at 2-0 down. If they do that, to be fair, so that's quite an achievement with how the first half's gone.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, only to concede 2 of 9 shots on target doesn't look too bad.
No.
Going forwards now, though, is South Korea. Kim Cho down the line into Sun. Trying to make something happen there, Son. And picked off well by Zoyarova. It's just cleared away. Drops in midfield now. And here, Nozim over, carrying it forward. It's a 3-on-4 for Uzbekistan, which they are still outnumbered, but it's ball clipped in behind. A chance now. And it's great goalkeeping from Ryu. But where on earth did that come from?
Whoa.
From Uzbekistan. A sudden attacking combination. And almost they created something.
Yeah, found themselves a bit of an overload. The ball just spilt out nicely, and the ball over the top was a nice ball. But that does seem to have completely knackered the striker. And I don't know what 2 other players have played down. Everyone was over on their haunches, and I thought they just weren't going to press. But there is now a player down for Uzbekistan. But I think that's taken all the energy out of them for this first half.
Yeah, it's a great bursting run there from Matt Karimova.
She was so frustrated that she couldn't get there first. You get there first, you knock it past the defender, or you get taken out, or something happens.
Yeah, keeper comes out flying like that. Maybe you get a red card and a great opportunity to get yourselves back into this game. But it's a sign of some sort of attacking intent, which we haven't seen at 90 minutes. Even the way it spills out, we haven't seen it for 40 minutes. So even the way it spills out, though, it just spills away from Mamat Karimova.
Yeah.
It was always going to be a little bit difficult, but yeah, that's the best attack. If they'd done that for the other 30 or 40 minutes, then, we're talking about much more glowing terms. But yeah, it's at least they've finally come forwards. Not quite able to get a second shot away yet, though.
No. That's good, but then but this is exactly what it just shows exactly what we're saying, because suddenly that's taken. I mean, yes, they had a player down as well, but that's taken 2.5 minutes out of the game simply because they came forwards.
Kim lifting it forwards, that bounces out. What a throw in on this near side.
And even like with throw-ins, right, the ones up the line aren't working. They keep losing it, so just throw it backwards, give it to your centre half partner, and see if you can make something work. Let's have a look.
That's it over now with a throw-in. Having a conversation with the lineswoman first.
I think she won that debate.
Yeah. And she's going to make her way up the touchline. Cho wins the header inside. Falls to Son. Loses out in there, though. They can come forwards again here. Nozim over. Well, that's really good defending. No. Steps up. Wins it back. And South Korea on the ball again. G. Back to Ko. Kim looking down the line. Back inside, though, to Ko. And Ko's brilliant goal. One of the 2 decisive ones so far in this game.
They were disappointed they conceded that one, because to concede a long-range effort is always a bit disappointing in these kind of games.
They just didn't charge it down though.
No.
That's the thing. Wide now from Mun. Here's Cho. Can she create the space for the cross, lifting it towards the back post? Headed down. G will get there. Not quite able to find the shot. Was trying to turn quickly. And I think there is a handball there up against G as well.
Yeah. Just couldn't really sort her body out and did end up bringing it down with her hand, did G? Let's have a look here. Yes. Yeah, just handballs it. She controls it. But yeah, and then, we're now, that 5 minutes has suddenly gone by for Uzbekistan. I think that if they can now, I don't know how long be added on, but if they can see out that additional period, get into the break at 2 goals down, and, on the reflection of that half, that will not be a bad position to be in. But they've got to work hard now for the next couple of minutes.
Yeah. Ball out of play for a South Korea throw-in. Coming forwards now, Kim. Across to Ko. We've got 3 additional minutes in this first half. Ball long. Cut into the box now by Kim. A chance for a third, and that's a big miss. Great goalkeeper from Yonim Kalova. And Sun just can't quite direct it around her.
Lovely ball over the top. Cutback's good. And yet, Son just pokes it past her. And then does get clobbered into, but that's nothing in that.
Smart goal kicking from Yonim Kalova. VAR is going to check it. It's the aftermath, just those trailing legs. I mean, it'll be very harsh. The ball's already been played. But there is a decent amount of contact decision. There's no penalty there from the VAR.
Again, everyone's brain decided to re-engage.
Here comes Uzbekistan. Ball played in behind. Stepping up, though, is Ko, who wins it back well. Showing also a streaming schedule for tomorrow. We've only got 1 stream tomorrow. I know there's a lot of football. We're looking forward to catching bits of it. But the way it all pans out, it's impossible to cover it all. Unfortunately, that 5 a.m. game, as much as I'd love to do Japan-Philippines, it's 5 a.m. But we will be live in the midweek for more Asian Cup action. After that, we will be live for the League Cup final. We'll be live half an hour before kickoff there, so we'll catch the end of those 12 o'clock kickoffs. Unfortunately, the way it works, if we were to do the 12 o'clocks, they're going to run right into the start of the League Cup final show, and I'd rather do an extended show for that game than do any of those 12 o'clock matches. So, yeah, apologies if you've anyone that was hoping to see a triple stream tomorrow, but it is just the League Cup final. We are back with a lot of streams over the next week as we return to domestic action, return to those continental competitions as well in a couple of weeks. So lots to look out for on that front. Cho coming forward, trying to create space for the cross. So Rover getting back in there, posts out for a corner. Taken short. Kim to Kim, lifting it in there. Chested down by Mun. Does not quite come to much, and it's cleared away there. South Korea keeping the pressure on, drilled wide, picked up again, back to Yarakova, winning it high. G just losing out in there. Mun plays it into Park to Jang. Here's Mooney and Ju. Going back all the way now to Ko as South Korea keep the pressure on. Wide now with Kim, trying to create the angle for the cross. Here's Cho cutting it into the box. Nodded on. Falls now for Jang, who's going to step up. Strikes across the box. I think looking for a teammate rather than taking the shot on herself. Should have been more selfish there as it's blocked. And this is bizarre. As Zoya putting her own team under pressure there with the pass back, which they do get away with it. And it will be a goal kick.
I mean, they're trying to get the ball down play and then just playing a terrible pass back to into your own penalty area.
So players already under a fair amount of pressure. That, though, is the half-time whistle here in Sydney. It is South Korea 2, Uzbekistan 0. Goals so far from Son, who was a late inclusion in today's lineup, coming in for Jeon, who we believe picked up an injury in the warm-up. And then it was the defender, Ko Yoo-jin, with one fantastic strike, picking up on the edge of the box, curling it into the top corner. Uzbekistan, though, they've struggled to deal with South Korea defensively. They've struggled to get out to cross. They've struggled to be reactive, and they've struggled to actually play forwards at all in this game. It's been one-way traffic, really. And at the half, it is 2-0 to South Korea.
Yeah, brilliant 45 minutes from South Korea, dominated from start to finish and had the 2-goal lead. That being said, for Uzbekistan's troubles, they are only 2 goals down. And on reflection, when you look at the stats, when you look at the numbers from that first half, being only 2-0 down is a pretty decent achievement. They haven't tried to play football, they haven't done very well, but some big saves from the goalkeeper, and the margin is still very, very respectable. So, yeah, I think both sides will be relatively happy with how the result is going. I think performance-wise, obviously Uzbekistan will be very disappointed because it hasn't been fun or a good performance. But as I say, result-wise, they're only 2 goals down, and when you get played off the park for 45 minutes, to only be 2-0 down isn't bad at all. South Korea, they'll be happy. I think they may have liked a couple more goals, especially when when you score after 9 minutes, the second goal was in the 20th minute. So that's 25 minutes without a goal then after that. But I think on reflection, both sides will be pretty content with a 2-0 scoreline at half time.
I think if it stayed this way, Uzbekistan would be. I think the concern will be that they have been under so much pressure. And I think the statistic that's most damning for me is possession, 14 to 86 looks damning, but 60 passes. 60 passes from Uzbekistan this game. Korea have completed 375.
That is absurd.
It's ridiculous.
That is absolutely ridiculous.
Over 6 times as many passes.
Just that's crazy. And we had 48 minutes. We had played 3 minutes additional time there, so that's 48 minutes. Uzbekistan are only just about a pass a minute, or they're just over a pass a minute, which is not where you need to be in football. That is not football. That is a different sport. That's football without the ball. But yeah, that's difficult. You as you say, you don't have an impact on games. You can't hurt oppositions with only 60 passes in a half of football. It's impossible.
Pass every 100 seconds or something.
Yeah, it's just impossible to win a game of football playing that way.
Yeah, so it hasn't really come together for them. Korea, they've been so good on the ball. The way they've been able to move it around, I think that, we spoke a lot about how Uzbekistan would come and play quite defensively in this game, but actually what we've seen Korea be able to do very effectively is they've matched that. You often see teams that are, if a team's dropping into a 5-4-1, why not push your fullbacks to play as wingers? Why not have your centre halves on the edge of the box and actually to allow them to sustain the pressure without bogging themselves down, because the Uzbekistan are so deep.
Yeah.
They, you can play very defensive, but there's no organisation. I mean, look at the goal from Ko. It's just disorganised people running at the ball. There's so much space, so many gaps. And yeah, I think if it wasn't for Yonim Kalova, who I will have some doubts about in the second half because her fitness doesn't seem to be 100%. I think they would be. I think they'd be in a much worse position because they've faced a peppering in front of goal. 17 shots, 9 on target from South Korea so far. 85% of the ball. They've been assertive on duels. 66% win rate in both aerial and ground duels, and it could have been a lot worse.
Yeah, exactly that. I mean, there was that sequence where there was a save, there was a block, then the shot hit the bar, and then there was another block, and they were out for a corner. And somehow South Korea didn't walk away with scoring from that sequence. But yeah, overall, it could really be much more convincing. South Korea, if they'd been a bit more cutthroat, and as you say, if we hadn't seen some brilliant saves, then it could be a lot more comfortable and a lot more embarrassing. And yeah, as the game goes on, you fear for Uzbekistan as to how many South Korea will score. I think the 2 goals that have actually gone in will both be very disappointing goals to concede. Watching the first one back here, again, it comes from their own throw-in, and then 2 passes later, South
They're the most
Korea
avoidable shots that they've faced.
Exactly, 100%. It's and then obviously the actual shot is deflected up and over the goalkeeper, and that was a really difficult way to concede, especially after 9 minutes, because we always speak about first 5-10 minutes, just keep yourselves in the game, don't concede. So to concede that early on from a really, really unlucky goal will be a point of frustration. But as I say, that the throwing was so poor, and throw-ins across the board have been poor. They might as well just pass it back to South Korea and drop back into their shape, because that's what happens. But yeah, they'll be frustrated to concede that early, especially through a deflected goal.
Yes, indeed, Mohammed. I'm loving your passionate support of Uzbekistan, but if you could spam slightly less Uzbekistan emojis in the live chat, that would be fantastic. Thank you for joining us, though. Showing us that China looked a lot better than they played versus England in this tournament. Yeah, I mean, China are one of the powerhouses, really. Their performance earlier today doesn't appear to be incredible, considering they
Mm.
couldn't score for 90 minutes, but they got the job done. And I mean, yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see where their level's at. I think the thing that China are so dominant for is their physicality in Asia, and it's a big reason why I think we're going to see North Korea, start to be a real force because they're such a physical side.
Mm.
When you've got so many technically gifted teams, it does, having one that's just absolutely brutally physical and aggressive is difficult to deal with.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, that definitely has been a big part of their success in this competition. But I think when they face some of those sides now, like Australia, like Japan, I think they're the favourites for a matchup against China. So it is shifting a bit, and obviously we've seen when China come across and try and face teams from Europe, from South America, from North America, they just get outdone really because you can't just have the physicality there. You've got to have it both, and actually their level of physicality is nothing compared to the physicality of a lot of those sides. So yeah, that's why they tend to struggle in those kind of games. But they've done okay at this tournament. I don't think they're my favourites to win it at this stage, but maybe they'll surprise us, beat Australia, get into another final.
Maybe. I mean, I think the team that won 11-0 in the group stage are probably the favourites to win it at the moment because, I mean, winning 11-0 is simply absurd. But yeah,
certainly helps, doesn't it?
It does. I think that, as you say, those semi-finals will be very, very interesting. I think all the quarterfinals have been very interesting so far. I mean, this one, of course, has probably been a bit more one-sided than the other two have been brilliant so far. I do think that if a Vietnam had got through, would this be a closer game? Would it have been a bit of a better fight? Because I thought for the majority of the match, Vietnam actually did quite well to put up with Japan, and they made things difficult for them. But also they had threat coming for. They did get a couple shots away, and they were a bit more defensively solid than Uzbekistan have been in this game.
Yeah, I think that would have been a much closer matchup. Again, I think it just comes down to the fortune of it. I mean, Vietnam probably should have got something against Chinese Taipei, and that doesn't bode well. And their performance against India wasn't that convincing. That's the problem. They didn't make up any goal difference. They lost a goal against Chinese Taipei, and they only made up one against Japan. So that kind of balanced it out. And then they faced India and conceded 4, whereas it was slightly different for Bangladesh. And I guess Vietnam, in that sense, because they were the second seed and had to play Japan the last match day, did have a little bit of disadvantage there because they didn't go into that last game knowing they needed to score some goals. Whereas Uzbekistan went into that Bangladesh game, and even at 2-0, knew that if they needed to score a third, knew they needed to score a fourth. So obviously made things quite different for them.
I'd love to talk to Bangladesh because I can't understand what happened in that game. I really can't, because we watched them against China and I thought they were okay. I thought they were relatively okay. I mean, yes, they did take a lot of time out of that game, but I watched this Uzbekistan side and I just can't see how they managed to score 4. I really can't. Bangladesh just collapsed, and I think that if you're Vietnam, that would be frustrating because, as you say, if that was only 1-0, then we'd be sat here watching South Korea Vietnam.
Yeah, absolutely. But ultimately, it's Uzbekistan that are here, and it's going to be interesting to see how they get on in that playoff game. They'll face either Japan or the Philippines to get in the play-in game.
They could turn it around. You never know if it was a funny game.
Yes, they could.
Only 2-0
after making 60 passes in the first half, they could suddenly go out and play some really nice football and score some goals. But yeah, they've not offered any threat in this game yet. And South Korea have been the dominant force thus far. You'd expect it to continue. Allo asking, lads, what's your prediction for the final score here? Well, at the start of the stream, I said 3-0. I think it will either be. I think that's not a bad prediction because I don't really see South Korea really going for it now. But they're probably going to get another goal in this game. I'm very happy with that prediction. You said 1-0.
I said 1-0. I thought it'd be a really tight game, and then they'd nick a goal late on. That has not happened. They've had 84% of the ball. They're gonna. I mean, obviously, I'm wrong already. They're not going to take a goal away from South Korea. I think they'll score a couple more in the second half. I think they'll get to 4, maybe 5. I don't think it will get any worse than that. But yeah, I'll go 4. I think they'll get another 2 at some point. But yeah, it looks to be players warming up for Uzbekistan and not just kicking the ball around on the pitch at half time. I mean, properly going through the warm ups. But yeah, very loyal Uzbekistan support. They've got quite a big contingent in the stand. They're backing their side all the way, but obviously they'll be a bit disappointed with what they've seen so far, and it would take something very special for their nation to turn it around here. But they'll love the fact that their team have got through to the knockouts, that they're here, and then obviously as we've mentioned, the fact they've got a shot at World Cup qualification.
Well, absolutely. I mean, it's not often Uzbekistan get to major tournaments, is it? So it's a great opportunity for their fans to enjoy it, and obviously they've got that opportunity to get into the World Cup. I believe the men's team have qualified, haven't they, for the Men's World Cup this summer, which is a big surprise. Incredible turnaround there. And yeah, maybe they can have a run of tournaments now over this year and next year if they can get into that 2027 World Cup. But they'll have to win either today, 10th game round, or win in that play-in game coming up in the next, or I think after the semi-finals at the end of the week. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. South Korea, though, with a very vibrant display of support in the stands. And it'll be interesting to see whether they can continue to impress, really, at this tournament.
Yeah, I mean, I thought the Uzbekistan contingent was quite strong, but the South Korea fans behind the goal to come in their numbers. But yeah, they've been really entertaining to watch. They've moved the ball really nicely at this tournament. I think that what I like about South Korea, especially in that Australia game, is that they did just play without fear. They just played their football. They didn't, settle down a little bit. They didn't drop more defensive. They just kept playing the free-flowing, good, fast football. They ended up coming over. It was a brilliantly exciting 3-3 draw. So, yeah, it's one of those where they can keep doing that. Then, they're going to be very exciting to watch this tournament no matter what. So, yeah, they've been really enjoyable to see. And I think that it's been great just to see them kind of play without fear, really.
I love the utterly rogue mix of attire worn by the neutral supporters.
Yes.
Because you've got some guys in Arsenal shirts, United shirts, Chelsea shirts, stuff like that. Liverpool shirts. You've still got some people wearing Australia shirts, which makes sense. And then you've got people wearing Western Sydney Wanderers gear.
Why not?
It's awesome. Yeah, I mean,
brilliant.
Support your local club rather than, I think that's great to get behind it. But it's, I think it's cool to see that range of different colours on display. And, why not go and watch these kind of games? They're not going to be sellouts. You're not going to see 30,000, 40,000 people travelling from Uzbekistan to watch the game. So why not go and enjoy a game of football, see how it goes? South Korea brought a strong support, and there are a lot of musical instruments in the stands.
There's 3 or 4 separate bands. With some very...
London City, you're going to get some ideas.
Yeah, exactly. They have one bite in each stand. But yeah, it's been a great tournament. I think it's been brilliant to see the support for the campaign, for the competition so far in Australia. And yeah, hopefully the attendances just keep getting bigger and bigger.
Double change here for South Korea. Looks like they are going to rotate the side of a fairly comfortable position in this game. Right back, a change at right back then as Kim Hae-ri is withdrawn. A change of midfield as Kim Shin-ji makes her way off the field. It will be Jung Min-young into midfield, and it will be Chu Hyuju who will come on to this right back position. So yeah, a couple of changes there as they will rotate the pack. And Kaiju loves a corner. Asking what the corner count is. It's 8-0 in favour of South Korea. So it will be South Korea to get us back underway in this match. Can they press on through their 2-goal advantage? Will Uzbekistan mount something of an incredible comeback? A change as well for Uzbekistan. It's a change in midfield. Kus Nidinova making way. And it's going to be the number 10. Karbuleva, I believe, coming in there to midfield. So South Korea to get us back underway from the middle, knocking it back and back underway in this context. South Korea with a comfortable advantage going into second half, a 2-0 lead, and they've been absolutely dominant. Can they keep that going? Can they find some more goals? Or will Uzbekistan pull off some sort of crazy upset? No. Ko. Wide now to Chu. It goes back to Ko. who steps up now into midfield, looking to lift that ball over the top. And that, though, a misplaced ball.
Yeah, Uzbekistan will hope to have a bit more of the ball now. If anything, they can't. No, I mean, yes, it's only 2-0, but I think that they've got nothing to lose. So just try and play with a bit of freedom, get on the ball, try and create something, maybe score a goal, give your fans something to cheer, and if you concede more, you concede more. That doesn't really matter at this point in the game. If they play without freedom and can find a goal, then maybe they can look to get back into this game. But yeah, I think they've got to be bold now. Uzbekistan, just come out and try and play their football, and whatever happens, happens.
Indeed, coming forwards now. Uzbekistan is trying to Zoirova, brought down in there though. And so that'll be a free kick, and maybe they can use this now to put a bit of pressure on. Oh, it's actually going to be a throw, I think, or is it a free kick? It is going to be a free kick. Put a bit of pressure on South Korea. Shaman says, how much are tickets for these games? Depending on the match, it is somewhere between $25 Australian dollars and $30 Australian dollars.
That's quite good.
But I believe the cheapest tickets. I imagine there are some slightly more expensive ones, I'm guessing, based on where you are. But yeah, I mean, fantastic pricing. I don't know what the Aussie dollar to pound conversion is. So I can't work out whether that's I know pounds are worth a little better. It's stronger than the Australian dollar, but I don't know what the exchange rate is. If that's what, £15-20, that's really good for this kind of game.
Yeah.
If I was in Australia, I'd be at every match. I spend loads on planes though.
Yeah. That's the thing. If you're in, if you're in somewhere like Sydney, you're local, or you're in Perth, of course you've had some of the Australian games, but yeah, you just get down to as many games as possible.
So I can't wait for the next tournament to be hosted in England. It'll be the Women's World Cup, I believe, in 2035, which feels a way away, but gives us time to get in a position to be working on it, I guess. 9 years.
Yeah.
That's got to be the ambition. Ball one now in the defensive line by Chu. Back inside to Kim. And now knocked wide to the left-hand side by Jung, and that's out of play. Good pressure there from back to Yorova. Joe says, great pronunciation of the names, by the way. Thank you. It's always the bit that is difficult when it's not teams you're familiar with, we watch every week. But I appreciate that. Thank you, Jeremy. Chu. And pass back now to Ko. Across to No, looking forwards. Want to lift that in behind. That's ambitious. An overhit there from No Jin Young.
Yeah, Uzbekistan will be very happy to see long balls like that for the rest of the second half.
Shin Sang-Woo, though, on the other hand, will not.
No, I think he'll be frustrated his side haven't scored more, but he'll be content with the control that they've got on the game and the fact that they do not look like conceding. Yeah, 11 goals scored at a tournament would be their third clean sheet as well. It's been very, very strong so far.
That's also just a completely random point, but neither of the managers are wearing the lanyards, which I've been so fascinated by because Montemurro started a trend in the first game of rather than having it around your neck, having it around your body, and every other manager seems to have just followed suit.
Yeah,
but neither manager following the fashion trend. But I only noticed it there because Kulbita's assistant manager was wearing it around his body. So
I also find it interesting which managers wear the club attire and which managers,
Yeah, like the tracksuit with the badge on it. Ball in, headed towards goal. Good save by Yonem Kalova. Yeah, Kulbita, I think, if there was a Versus do a post for the Women's Euros, they looked at the drip of the managers. They must do that for major tournaments. I hope they do it for this because Kulbita will be well up there.
And Peter Butler. that man's style.
Peter Butler does feel like the kind of guy who should rock up wearing like a Hawaiian shirt.
Yeah.
To manage the team.
I do wonder if the lack of a club tracksuit does relate to whether you're also from the country you're managing.
Yeah, possibly, or investment. That's an extra 50 quid, isn't it?
True. That's not saving money.
Oh, yeah, I'll reverse that now. Don't worry, just save the money.
But yeah, 5 minutes gone in the second half, and again, Uzbekistan have done well to take the pace out of the game and make things a little bit easier for them. They've only faced one shot in this second half so far. Exactly the way they've got to play this second half. I mean, that is poor again though. Their own free kick, they just kicked it straight back to South Korea. No, I get it if you go long and it picks up, but that was just a 10-yard pass straight to a unopposed South Korea player.
Korea now stepping it forwards. And here's G feeding it through the lines. Nice ball out to the left-hand side. Park wants to dart inside with possession. Tidy footwork. Back to the support of Jang. Now G. And she's dispossessed in there. And can Uzbekistan use this now? A carry inside. Back out wide from the substitute. Kabibuleva. Slipping it through the lines. Nazimova makes the run, but it's going to run through to Ryu, who's getting one of, I think, a handful of touches in this game.
Yeah. So apart from that moment when she had to come running out and deal with it, really hasn't been much for her to worry about.
Indeed. Ko knocks it wide. Kim into Cho, who tries to go through to Son, who's battling away here with Azadova. Does come away with possession. Past the edge of the box. Cho trying to create the angle for the cross, but it's won back by Zoyarova, who's carrying this ball forward. A pass inside to Nazimova, overhit though from Zoyarova. And won back by South Korea. Jang inside to G. Feeds it through the lines. Tidy from Mun. Son won't get there. And it's won back again by Uzbekistan. This is a nice bit of play from Uzbekistan. A nice passage of a couple of minutes where they were able to intercept the ball quite well. They are looking to find passes. They're looking to find these sort of combination plays. And they're actually playing football. And here's Zoyarova carrying the ball forward now with a bit more intent. Going to hit this in behind. Nazimova picking it up, though, in the short. And Zoyarova tries to poke it inside. Good defensive work there from G. Now they're coming forwards to the left-hand side. Jang cuts back inside. A switch to the play, and that's a great head away from Asadova. It will drop in midfield, and that's a strong challenge from Dadabueva. And now knocked out to the left-hand side with Zoyarova. Nazimova. One back well by Cho, and they're really struggling now, I think, with fitness. Uzbekistan had a positive passage there, and now their players are knackered. G. Cho looks for Muni and Ju. Pass backwards now into the fullback Chu. Oh, no. Pass inside from Park. Lovely football. Sun puts it in there, and that's collected well by Yonim Kalova. Very good play.
Yeah, does well. Had a really, really good game. Both sides just, I mean, South Korea have taken their foot off the gas a little bit, and that's just letting Uzbekistan be under a little bit less stress at the moment. And they're just starting to enjoy a bit more of the ball, albeit not really doing anything with it.
Yeah, nice ball out, but it's not quite come off there. Park able to get that under her control.
Yeah, a bit of a quiet game for her. Hasn't really got involved as much as we expected. And I mean, this will be a bit of a concern for Uzbekistan, because the substitute that came on at half time is now the one that's down with some sort of issue.
Yeah, does seem to be miraculously okay there. Kabibuleva.
That will not be encouraging Yeah, expect more changes to come soon, before they really start to tire.
But yeah, I mean, on your point regarding Park, it has felt like they've had a different player step up in different games.
Mm.
They don't have anyone near the top of the goal scoring chart. I think their top scorer of this competition is Ko with 1 goal. I know Mun does have 2. Mooney and Jude does have 2, to be fair. But outside of that, it's just a load of players with 1 goal each.
Mm.
It's great to have lots of different outlets, though. Ball in behind now. Opportunity. Here's Park. Puts it into the box. Headed away well. And nodded out for a corner. And Yonem Kalova furious there that her fullback decided to head that out for a corner rather than the other direction.
Mm. Yeah, it's good to have different providers. I mean, Australia feels a bit like Sam Kerr, Alana Kennedy, and a dream at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, that is 8 of their goals at this tournament. Majority of which are Alana Kennedy goals.
Yes.
It's on fire. Ball into the area. Yonem Kalova clears it away. A shot now from Chu, and it finds its way home. That's Park, on the other side. Picking up at the far post. We're just saying she hasn't done too much in this game. But she picks up the ball in the aftermath of that corner and rifles the shot home. Park Seo-jung with a goal. South Korea 3, Uzbekistan 0.
Yeah, again, it's a good punch.
Another deflection.
Yeah, it's a good punch from the goalkeeper from the corner, but no one reacts, no one gets out to it, and yeah, a deflection into the top corner just takes it away from all the other bodies that were ready to block it within the 6-yard box.
It's like a combination of the first 2 goals they can scored in this game, South Korea. It's both a long effort from a corner and a deflection. But they've found a way to go, and it's another 3-0 victory. They've had consistency in this game, in this tournament, South Korea.
That's if they don't score another one in the next 37 minutes.
Well, they better not. 3 goals in every in every match so far. 2 3-0 victories and a 3-3 draw. Ball into the box. Good claim by Yonem Kalova. They score 4. That's it. Tournament over.
Yeah.
Ball in behind, and Ozumova's going to get there. It's good defending from No to get back in there and win the ball. Kim Shin-ji has been replaced. That was Park, sorry. Back now with Ko. Jung. Out to the right-hand side. Cho inside. Money and Ju. Across to Ji So-young. Inside from Jiang. Here's Ji. No. Lifts it out towards Chu. Knocks it down the line. Cho tries to get there. Asamoah doesn't fully deal with it. And it's going to get pulled back anyway for a foul there on Chu. Free kick for South Korea.
Yeah, just a slight pull there to prevent her going forwards, and Korea now seem to have just started a bit of a slow start to the second half, but they've picked it right back up again. Already got that 3rd goal and now just looking to keep kicking on.
Indeed. Shadow says, do you expect Claudia Martinez to do well in Washington? No idea. I cannot say I've ever watched her play. She was in the Liga MX, wasn't she? And now she's at the end of herself. I don't know. A lot of money, though. Ball delivered in and cleared away by Zarapova, but apparently taking a touch there. I think a self-confession, really, from Ko, I think it was, that touched it.
Yeah.
Now for a corner. No goal kick, sorry. Sharon says Alana Kennedy deserves Golden Boot. Well, she's on for it at the moment. And I mean, to be fair, competitors for anyone in a Japan shirt.
Yeah.
Myung Yu Jong, who's out now of the competition, could score, I guess, in the playing games. That would still count, but it wouldn't count in the spirit of the competition. And then, yeah, similar with Kim Kyung Yong, similar with Chae Eun Yong, both North Korean players, both out. China's top scorer is only on 2, Xiao Zheqin, so it's really only if Japan keeps smashing everyone and get loads of goals,
which is high.
Seike, Ueki, or Miyazawa could challenge her.
It's highly likely Japan do keep doing that.
Yeah, I mean, Sam Kerr also got 2 or 3 goals left in their locker, so.
I just love the thought of Alana Kennedy winning the Golden Boot is hilarious.
She just needs one more, and I'm so confident it'll happen.
Yeah.
Unless one of those Japanese players scores a hat-trick against the Philippines, which absolutely could happen. Zoya over, ball in, headed away well, and it drops on the edge of the box. Dadabueva, ball wide now with Zoya over, lifting it into the area. Good claim by Ryu.
Much better. So much better from Uzbekistan. I know they're now playing with freedom, but that's why it frustrates me that they decide to play so defensive, because they've got some half-decent players in the forward areas. That was a nice combination as they came forwards, and again, it just takes more time out of the game, and if the cross was a little bit better, then maybe they can get a chance out of it. And again, they're looking to feed the ball through here, but just a bit too much on it, and runs through to the goalkeeper.
Still not a shot yet in the second half, though, which would be a point of, I think, concern. The fact that, despite the fact they are offering a bit more, they still haven't had a shot.
Yeah, that is true.
In the second half, only 1 shot in the first, nothing on target yet. Korea, 19 shots now in this match, 10 of which have been on target. So their only shot on target in the second half went in.
Yeah.
Haven't really peppered or put a barrage of shots on that goal in the same way they did in the first half.
Yeah, they've definitely taken it down a notch. Because as you say, there's not a need to, especially now they've got a third goal, they can afford to just kind of shut things out. But I think that Uzbekistan will hope to, as you say, get a shot away, maybe nick a goal, and have something to be positive about from this game.
We're almost at 120 passes now as well, so they're definitely up that.
Yeah.
In 15 minutes, they've almost done more passes than they did in 45 in the first half, and a little bit more possession from 14% to 18%. Still not incredible. Chich says my prediction is it will be Japan vs Australia in the finals.
I think that's the general consensus amongst most people, is that will be the final again. But who knows? South Korea and China are both very capable of pulling something off, and if Australia play like they did yesterday, then China have got a great chance of getting something.
I know it'll be China-Philippines.
Oh, yeah.
My bold prediction.
Do not count out the Philippines.
Shout out to who's your favourite Japanese player besides Hamano? Ooh.
Hasegawa.
Yeah.
Obviously.
It's obviously Yu Hasegawa, which is incredible to watch. But I do like Toko Koga as much as he plays for Tottenham.
So it depends if it's favourite in terms of as a person or person as a footballer. I mean, all they are.
I don't know any of them. I don't know.
Well, see, that's your problem.
Your best mates with all of the Japanese national team.
I mean, to be fair, they're all brilliant. They're all fun to watch. They're all just brilliant.
Changes in the attacking line for Uzbekistan. Ozimova and Zoyarova making way for Osirova and Valakanova. Change as well for South Korea. It was Cho Yu-ri who made way the right winger for Kang Chae-rim, who is usually their usual starting right winger, I believe. Ball cut across, blocked well. Corner to follow for South Korea.
Yeah, again, good defending, getting back in there and making the interception to put it out for a corner. Having made the initial error. Did well to recover and stop that ball getting across the box. But another South Korea corner. They've got to be into double digits by now on these set pieces.
Indeed. Yeah, this is their 10th of the game. And what will they do with this delivery? Taken short. G tries to get the angle. Nice movement. Here's G on the edge of the box. Let's fly! And that is saved by Yunam Kalova. Nice move, though. Wouldn't we love to see a Ji So-young goal in this Asian Cup?
Has she not got one yet?
Not sure, actually. Can't recall her scoring, though.
South Korea, G has to score before South Korea get knocked out.
Well, no G goals.
Rubbish.
No G goals, no party.
Exactly. She's just saving it for the final. it's going to be in a big moment. It's not going to come in, a game like this. It's going to come, against someone like Japan in the semi-finals, or it's going to come when they need her most.
Well, she hasn't played loads. I mean, she didn't play at all in the Philippines game. Played just over an hour in the Iran game before she was subbed, and then played 71 minutes against Australia. I imagine it'll probably be a similar story here, but obviously at 32, doesn't have the legs she once did. Or 35, sorry, not 32.
Well, she's 32, she'll still be playing for Chelsea.
Bring her back. But yeah.
Yeah, she just makes things tick. It's another really, really enjoyable player to watch.
I mean, even in her short spell at Birmingham, she impressed. At 35, that's a pretty impressive feat.
Uzbekistan still needs 6 passes to get to the 120. Let's hope they can do it at 24 minutes to go.
Sean does the Tanakawa's mine. Going back to that conversation about Japanese players, Momoko Tanakawa is an excellent player as well. Yeah, I've again only watched fleeting bits of her. It's difficult to follow a lot of the other European leagues, but I've seen her a lot in the Champions League, and yeah, very impressed. Particularly that performance against Arsenal, I thought she was really strong. Once they played her higher, struggling in the pivot initially, they put her higher, suddenly clicked into place. But yeah, very exciting player. Probably someone will do a video on at some point because she's very well loved as well.
Yeah.
Ball not had a play by No, and out for a throw-in on the near side. Shadow says, you don't think it's unfair that Leicester have to play away for the WSL playing game? It should be a neutral venue. The problem is, where do you pick a neutral venue? No neutral venue wants to host anything that late in the season.
And that's also the way it's kind of meant to. I like doing it that way. It's meant to even out what should be a bit of a quality gap.
Yeah, it should favour the WSL 2 side, which I think is fun. I get it's a bit difficult for the fans, but equally,
you think bottom of the league, unlucky.
Yeah, it depends where it is. But if we're looking at the potential options, it could be Birmingham. It's not too far. And again, where would you go in between the two, which could be a neutral venue? It's not something like local level. There's a semi-final in the cup. Yeah. They try and make it a similar distance from the two clubs, right? So it's an even, so it evens out. But you can't do that with a game like that where you organise it last minute once you know who's bottom of the league. So there'll be a week between the final day and then the final day of the WSL season, and then the match, and there'll be 2 weeks between the final day of the WSL 2 season, so they'll know where it's going to be hosted 2 weeks in advance. But yeah, they can't pick a venue that late, really.
Yeah. So a cramp here for Zarapova. I'm not really sure what the technique there was of getting her teammate to punch her calf. I'm nursing that as a way to deal with cramp. Might try that next time. But it's all right to continue. Yeah, they're really struggling now, Uzbekistan, with fitness.
Yeah. Ball goes long. It's picked up without issue, really, by No, and now with Rio. Yeah, it does feel a bit of a foregone conclusion at this stage. But Shaman does go on your point. The only one that would really be a problem for Leicester is if it's like Newcastle or Southampton, I guess, because that's quite the trek. But Bristol City's not too far, is it? I think.
Yeah, it's not too bad.
Forest could suddenly push up the table. That'd be perfect.
Yeah.
It's not too far either. So, yeah, I know. I like the fact it favours the weaker team in theory. I'd rather see more manoeuvrability between the two leagues.
Yeah.
With less. Kind of gutted they did the playoff system that way anyway, but alas, Korea in possession now. Pass back to the back line. Here's Jang. Looks forward, back across to Ko. She'll switch the play now. Brilliant touch from Park. Lose out to Kuchkarova. Ball forwards, and a good challenge in there from Zarapova, who clears her lines, and Asadova will give Yusarova, will give chase. 20 minutes to play them. Chu. Cross to Ko. Hoping the referee will be quite sensible with additional time. We've not seen too much common sense applied to this tournament, but it is really a foregone conclusion. Uzbekistan are tiring.
Yeah.
We don't need 10 minutes of additional time.
No. South Korea
jumping on it.
South Korea are happy just to see the game through and not pick up any injuries or be too tired for the semi-final. Uzbekistan again, they're going to have a playoff game to prepare for, and they're really struggling now.
Indeed, partner sitting there, Asadova heading it away. Chu loses out.
You go get a couple passes together, although they've been caught on the ball.
Around the corner from Son into Moon Ju. Chance now, and it's the goal for Ji So Young, the one we wanted. It's South Korea 4, Uzbekistan 0. A tidy combination in the penalty area between the attacking players, and it's Ji So Young at 35, a hero of South Korean women's football, and she buries that one well.
Yeah, again, Uzbekistan trying to play out, trying to be more positive in this second half. They get dispossessed, really good work rate, and again, it's a well-worked move by South Korea. Lovely football, 1-2 touch stuff between 4 or 5 players, and the ball is just rolled into the path of G, who can pass this beautifully into the bottom corner. Really nice stuff from South Korea. Best goal of the lot, that. Much, a couple of the other goals, while they deserve to be ahead, have been a bit scrappy goals. That was just a really nice move.
Yeah, it comes from a Uzbekistan mistake, but there's so much to do after that. And it's the one that Yonim Kalova could do least about. It's the one the defence could do least about. It's a really well taken goal. And the Ji So Young fan club, which is
us,
just this year, just us guys, is buzzing.
We need more people to join.
Accepting members.
We should get t-shirts.
Just G's face.
Tune in for the semi-final on Wednesday.
We're just here wearing G. Oh, forward from Son. Doesn't come to much. That'll be a free kick for Uzbekistan as well, I think. Too assertive there from Son in her attempts to poke that ball forwards. Shower just asked, do you think Charlton have wrapped the WSL 2 up? Yeah.
Well, I thought so, and then they went and lost to Pompey.
I just don't see them dropping 9 points to Birmingham.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see them win.
Yeah.
There's 5 games left.
Oh,
they would have to win only 1, really.
True. Have they got to play Birmingham?
Yeah, last end of the season.
So
toughy for Birmingham.
All they've got to do is drop 6 points.
Sunderland, Bristol City, Crystal Palace, Southampton, Birmingham. It's not the nicest
run. That's a horrible run in. And that's why losing to the side that were bottom of the league at the time isn't a great idea.
Yeah, they play 4 of the top 6. Obviously, they can't play themselves, and they don't play Newcastle.
That's tough.
They'll beat Sunderland this weekend, though. Suddenly, it's not a problem.
Yeah, that is true.
And Birmingham, it's not too much easier. Southampton, Newcastle, Sheffield United, Bristol City, Sunderland, Ipswich, and Charlton. Why have they got so many more games? Yeah, Charlton. To be fair, Charlton have played more games, so that could get cut down quite significantly. If Birmingham win their 2 games in hand, it is only a 3-point lead,
and they've still got to play each other.
Maybe it's going to be tighter than I thought.
There we go. I was right. Get in there.
But I'd rather have the points than the games, and
of course you would.
Birmingham's games in hand are Newcastle away and Sunderland at home.
Yeah, I mean, they're difficult games to go, especially Newcastle away. But I think all the top 3 sides will drop points.
Here come Uzbekistan breaking forwards now on the right hand side. Back to Yarova. Can't quite keep it within the confines of the field of play. And that will be a throw in on this near side for South Korea. I think Palace probably the nicest running. They got Forest, Ipswich, Portsmouth, and Sunderland all in their last 6. Moon Ju is replaced there by Anyang. So that final change, that's Lee Anyang coming on into a forward position immediately. getting involved. G wriggling around. She'll complete 90 minutes for the first time at this competition. The only player they haven't really subbed in that attacking line. Ball out towards the right wing. Che there trying to make something happen. Doesn't quite come off. Taken quickly though, the throw in. Cutting back inside and looked like a blatant foul there on Lee.
Yeah, just
There's a free kick.
Stuck a leg out. Lazy trip. Bit of a needless free kick to concede. Bit of a conversation being had here with the Uzbekistan captain. I'm not really sure what her argument is. Bit of a chance now for South Korea to just put this ball in, searching for a fifth. Hopefully this will be the most one-sided semi-final, quarter-final, of the lot. I mean, obviously we've only got one left, but I think I'd like to see Philippines put up a good fight against Japan.
Yeah, I don't see them conceding 4, but I didn't think Vietnam would concede 4.
True.
I definitely didn't think India would concede 11. Chance just fired wide there. Nice move. Che unable to hit the target.
Yeah, Japan have been ridiculous at this tournament.
Yeah.
But then, as we said, they haven't.
They're checking whether this goal should have been allowed, apparently. Nowhere near the goal.
Checking this.
Decision. It's nowhere near the goal. Thank you, VAR. Thank God we've got VAR. If not, I would have thought that was a goal.
That shot them 5 yards past the post. They must. I just.
Why bother putting that graphic up? Like maybe you just have it. Oh, hang on, let's watch that back once just to make sure.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, definitely didn't go in.
But that was dubious enough for me to go. We need to have a look at that.
A proper check. Get the lines out.
Yeah, the officials at this tournament have not. Luckily, there hasn't been any big decisions that have completely cost anyone. I think all the games have been a couple of errors here and there, and VAR's had some weird decisions. It's had some weird checks, but yeah, there's been nothing major that's cost any team, anything massive.
Zarapova there withdrawn through injury to Shaba coming in then to centre half. Shamdor said, I'd rather Birmingham win the title. I don't mind, really. I think they're both going to come up anyway. I want Birmingham to come up because they've got money. And I think what we need in the WSL is money.
The challenge Michelle Kang.
Exactly. Well, it's just more teams investing, isn't it? It forces then others to invest. We've seen it this year where Leicester, who have not put anywhere near enough money in, have been caught out. And I think it would happen again to teams like Aston Villa. I think the one that can't afford to rest on their laurels, West Ham, they'd be the kind of teams under pressure because they don't put enough in. So Birmingham come up. I'd like to see Bristol City as well, to be fair. Because Mercury 13 are just buying everything. If they own all the football clubs, then Michelle Kang can't.
That's the new battle.
Because they've got Como. Got a US team? I can't remember.
Actually.
They've got Como, Bristol City, and they just bought Badalona. And then Badalona immediately drew with Barcelona. Foul here. A yellow card awarded, but what are you thinking of that?
It's got the ball. Man, that's my thinking of that.
But unfortunate there. Orani is over.
Yeah, I'm not. I think that's been given off the reaction because the player's gone tumbling down, done 3 or 4 rolls, and gone down holding their leg, and that's managed to convince the referee, I think.
So, Jungmin Young over this. What can they make happen here?
Quite a few players in the box for South Korea. I want more.
Okay, well, yeah, I mean, why not? Go and get a fifth.
Yeah.
Try and get someone to win the Golden Boot. Not that they've really got anyone in contention, but get a couple goals.
Stop Alana Kennedy.
They're taking Offman now as their top scorer of this competition. It's taken short. Drops now for Jang. He thought about the shot from range. Thinks better of it. Here's G, who's dispossessed, but is able to recover the ball. Chu lifts it over the top. And just a bit of miscommunication there between Ko. I didn't quite see who the other forward was. I think it was Park. And it was cleared away by the Uzbekistan defender. Corner now for South Korea. They've already scored 2 from corners, neither direct, but both when recycled. Will they score a third now? It's Park over this. Jung, sorry, not Park. Park Min Young lifts it in towards the middle of the goal. It bounces through and almost a second for go. It bounces. Can they bundle it over the line? It's still going round to the back of the net, and I think there's a foul in there. There is indeed.
I mean, that was more like rugby, just trying to push the ball over the try line, rather than
Middle of a scrum,
rather than any resemblance of football. But yeah, it was given a free kick with something in there. VAR will have a look at it.
I'm not even sure they know what. Is there actually a foul in here? I guess is the question, because they just keep taking shots. Did Jon and Kalova have 2 hands on that ball?
No, I didn't see it.
Not sure.
Let's have a look.
There's no foul on a player. It's whether... This is a terrible angle.
No, right, no. I don't think she did. I think the referee she's
So
given it.
Stand then.
I think it's going to stand.
They are still checking, because I don't think she ever has 2 hands on the ball. It's kicked out of her hand, but I think she's got 1 hand on the ball. Is that enough in the modern day to say the goalkeeper's got control?
Could be.
It's quite again, every rule in football is just ridiculously subjective.
Be nice if they slowed it down a little bit.
It just seems to go up her hands and it's kicked out of it.
So
there's no foul.
Not there.
It's a great angle where you can't. Yeah, you can't see. So that's a brilliant angle. I'd pick that one.
I'd show VAR that angle.
Decision no goal, so it must be deemed that she's got a hand on it. I don't see the hand. Oh, there is a foul on Asadova. Sorry, that may be what it's given on as well. And a change now in goal for South Korea, which is when you know a team is really in control and taking the piss, because here comes a goalkeeping change. It is a substitution for Ri Jisoo replaced by Siobhan. Nice. See a bit.
I mean, that's a
South
bit.
Korea goal.
That's taking the mick a bit.
Does she get a medal now, though? Which case, why not?
Maybe, yeah.
AFC are going to run out of money because South Korea want to get all their players medals.
I mean, surely doesn't the whole squad get a medal?
Well, yeah, usually.
So I think that's just taking the mick a bit.
Maybe she's on like 99 appearances.
Maybe.
And this is her last tournament. I don't know.
Maybe.
But that is a strange decision.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sia Bin Woo. Nope. That appears to be her international debut.
Maybe that's the plan. Maybe that's the way to go about it.
Fair enough.
You wouldn't want to make your debut properly though, rather than come on for 7 minutes in a quarter final and you're pouring like against Uzbekistan.
True. I mean, it was already a bench goalkeeper, wasn't it?
True.
It wasn't Kim In-jung. It was Ryu. But yeah, so they're making that change there to get someone international. I mean, you're going to keep a clean sheet most likely. If you don't now, then
you're never playing.
Great, yeah.
Slap Guerrero again.
But yeah. All coming forwards now. Son. Slips it through. Here's Park. Tries to chop in. Can't quite release the shot. Batting away for possession. Now plays it inside and it's hooked away. Son back now. In the defensive line. No. G slips it through. Fantastic ball. Poked and saved. Park on the rebound. And it's 5. Lovely move. The ball slipped in by Ji So-young. The initial shot saved, but Park on hand to steer home the rebound. And South Korea in utter control. And there's a melee of red ribbons in the stands there.
What a ball. What a ball from Ji-sun Park.
And a great save from Yunkalova. I mean,
yeah.
what else can she do there? Denies the shots of Kang. Nothing she can do about the rebounds.
Someone's got to be following in as well. Someone's got to be helping out their goalkeeper.
And it's Lee Young. Sorry, not Park. On hand. Finishes it well.
Having a look at this one as well. Maybe she was offside when she followed in. They should have a look at everything tonight. Decision goal, that's quick.
Very quick. And that stands. So 5 minutes left to play. And again, hopefully, as I mentioned earlier, we will be sensible at the end of this game.
Yeah.
Realise there's not too much merit to an extended additional time. Foul there. Didn't quite see who was brought down, but it was a foul committed by Captain Dadabueva. Free kick then for South Korea. Taking quickly, still a discussion here between the referee and G while the game continues. It's brilliant. Chu down the line. Kang cuts inside. Jung plays it forwards. And Son can't quite find a teammate. Coming forwards now. Kabibuleva able to win that throw-in. Rising on to the screen says, are you going to do a prediction for the Asian Cup winners video? Yeah, probably on Friday. Probably do a preview for that final on Friday, so look out for that. And there may be another video this week. Depends what happens tomorrow. If United win, probably not. I'll just send her a deep state of depression. If Chelsea win and there's something interesting to talk about, I'll probably do a video on that.
Put a picture of Mark Skinner everywhere.
But apart from that, we'll be live across this week, tomorrow for the Women's League Cup final, and for both of the matches on Tuesday and Wednesday in the Women's Asian Cup. We're live as well on Wednesday evening as Chelsea take on Brighton in the WSL. And we're live on Monday to review all the WSL action from the weekend. We did think about doing that on Thursday, so do let me know what your thoughts are in the live chat. But I think we'll do that Monday. We can talk about the League Cup then, and hopefully nothing crazy happens in Manchester United versus
West Ham?
Someone like that. Yeah, I think it is West Ham, isn't it?
Yeah. Obviously Chelsea, Brighton.
Yeah, West Ham.
Yeah.
Change here. Kuchkarova taken off. Amin Janova on at right back. Now, the last, I believe, of their changes is Uzbekistan. Now, both sides use all their subs.
Just giving out opportunities, aren't they, for players to feature?
Ryzen says Pop leaving Wolfsburg is mad. Is that confirmed now? I know a contract was up this summer, but has it been confirmed she'll leave? What a crazy summer this is going to be.
Refuse to watch Wolfsburg now.
But this summer, we're going to see Bernstein and Pop leave Wolfsburg. Battier, Caroline Graham-Hansen, Mapillion, all leave Barcelona. Wrighton leaving Chelsea, potentially Bright and Kerr also leaving Chelsea. Georgia Stanway, Bayern Munich.
Yeah.
McCabe. Girelli.
Yeah.
So many people leaving for free.
These are all people.
Can't believe it. But yeah, I wonder where Pop will go. Presumably America.
Probably.
For the money. That's where everyone's going, for the money.
Yeah.
Foul there on Son. A bit of a clumsy challenge, and then just seems to fall horribly there on both ankles.
Yeah, I think she's got a problem with that left knee. It just sticks out as she falls. Not a nice one, but
does seem to be fine. G, Jang, Ko. Into Jung, looking out towards the right-hand side. Chu now passing it back into Ko and across to No. Now Jang. G reverses it back. We've got 3 minutes again of additional time in this second half. So smart stuff all round. Well, there has been a few pointless VAR checks and substitutions. There's no point adding on loads of time. Korea are comfortably ahead. Jang lifts out to the left-hand side. Son down the line. Ball lifted in and lifted out for a goal kick.
Yeah, not Uzbekistan's night, but a really good, fair play to them at this tournament for reaching the knockouts. They'll have a chance to qualify for the World Cup now. It's been a difficult performance, but they did well. Brilliant win against Bangladesh in the groups to get here. And yeah, to get to the knockouts is an achievement in itself for them. To get to the tournament was a brilliant achievement as well. So yeah, the fact they're here, it's been a good tournament for Uzbekistan, but yeah, this is going to be the end of it. But they've got these playoffs to look forward to, next week for a chance to potentially reach the World Cup next year.
Yeah. Foul in the penalty area, and that's going to be a late penalty. Clumsy there, it's a substitute. Sarova, I think, that's committed that foul, bringing down the substitute Leon Young. And it's a penalty for South Korea to make it 6.
Yeah, no complaints from anybody involved. Stonewall penalty. Ball just gets flicked up. And she gets there second and just takes her out.
Yeah, I don't think that VAR is going to need to check this one particularly long.
No.
Clumsy. Referee made a very quick decision, which is usually a good indicator.
Yeah, didn't think twice. And yeah, I think you can just go off the player's reaction. She knows she's given away a penalty.
Yeah.
Well, can we see some more penalty heroics, though?
Well, if there's any goalkeeper that's going to save a penalty, it's going to be Yonim Kalova. And so, for South Korea, it is... Find out in a moment. Yonim Kalova between the sticks was fantastic in that game against Nepal. So, from 12 yards, it's Jiang, the left back, to step up. Steps up now and coolly dispatched of it. Yonim Kalova gets the right way. Couldn't quite get there. Jiang there looks shy after scoring. And while a small applause there from the subs bench. Some players stood up, others not that bothered. At 6-0, there's not too much jubilation, but still, another goal. And to be fair, the stands are absolutely loving it. There is a buzzing, vibrant atmosphere behind the goal as that penalty goes in. And they will celebrate it as much as they did the first. Good penalty. South Korea 6, Uzbekistan 0.
Yeah, tidy penalty. A brilliant, brilliant performance from South Korea.
Indeed, and that is the full-time whistle. Completely dominant from South Korea. Jubilation amongst their stands and their fans. A slight frustration and I think a disappointing feeling around Uzbekistan. Their inability to offer a serious threat here. But South Korea march on where they will face either Japan or Philippines in the semi-finals. Uzbekistan off to the play-in games where they face one of the same opponents. But yeah, successful tournament so far from South Korea. They have been fantastic in front of goal. And while there was a blemish on their defensive record against Australia, clean sheets in the other 3 matches gives them a lot of hope that they could go all the way in this year's competition. They will face either Japan or Philippines. Join us for that game on Wednesday. Now, there is everything from us today. A very enjoyable semi-final. Very one-sided semi-final, though hopefully tomorrow is a little closer. Remember to join us live as well for the League Cup final tomorrow. That, though, is everything. Thank you guys very much for watching, and we'll see you next time.